In last week's video, I showed you the techniques that I used to paint in the right eye of this portrait. So this time we're just going to continue right along, paint in the left eye and start pulling this monochromatic portrait together. And I'm working here on clayboard, only using one color, that's a black acrylic ink. Just like always, on the left side of the screen, I have a cropped section of my completed painting. We'll be working on the right. To help guide me and to maintain the correct proportions, I did use a 1x1 grid and I drew out all of my lines and contours with a 2H graphite pencil. One of the first things that I noticed with this left eye is this really dark cast shadow just below the upper eyelid. So I'm starting this one with the shield that I made myself just out of a piece of paper. I cut a curve into it and I'm lining it up with that transition point between the iris and the upper eyelid, just lining up my shield, spraying a little bit of this black paint down. I talked about this last week. I noticed that the edge of the pupils are not really that sharp in this portrait. They're a bit softer. So in order to do that, I'm just painting these in freehand. My paint is a bit more reduced than normal. I have it reduced about 40% with distilled water. And because this surface is so smooth, I don't want that paint spidering out. So I've reduced my pressure here to around 15 psi. This airbrush is atomizing the paint very well, but since I'm spraying such a low volume with this pressure and reduction, I'm achieving those dark values like in the center of the pupil just by spraying multiple layers. For the edge of the iris, I'm using the same circle template that I showed last week, just lining it up with my drawing and spraying in some paint. Now I want the edges of the iris to be sharp, but I don't want them razor sharp in this portrait, so what I'm doing here is lining up my shield and just slightly moving it over to the side. And then I'm just extending that curve out, spraying a bit more paint over to the right. This way the edge is just going to look a little bit softer. And it's very subtle. You could barely even see me doing it in this video. I just spray some paint, move the shield over like a millimeter, and spray a bit more. I'll do the same thing on the left side of the iris, lining up my shield and just spraying some paint along that transition point. I'll darken up that cast shadow along the top part of the iris, and then to soften up the right side a bit more, I'm lining up my shield again. You can see I'm just kind of pushing it a little bit over to the right and spraying some more paint in there. Once those sharper edges are in from the shields, I'll just start filling in the rest freehand, like this little dark shadow on the upper right hand side. And if there's any overspray in some parts that I don't want, like right here above the eye, I just erase it right out. At this point, there's a fair amount of paint and overspray within this specular highlight, so I want to clean all that up. So what I'm using here is an aggressive eraser. This is the Mars Razor, and I'm just erasing all that paint out to get a clean, pure white surface. And then on the lower right hand side of the iris, I'm going to erase out some of the texture that I'm seeing with a light amount of pressure on this eraser. Then I'll soften up the left side with that eraser where the limbo ring is, and then switch over to the airbrush freehand, start glazing a thin amount of this paint into the iris. You'll see that I'm applying more paint along the top of the iris and along the left edge, making those areas darker. I'm not switching off between different mixtures of paint. I'm controlling all those values just by how much paint is applied to that clayboard. To spray in the sclera, that's the whites of the eyes on the left side, I'm using a freehand shield that I just cut out myself using some construction paper. I'll line this up with the lower eyelid and just spray some of that paint up into the whites of the eyes. And I'll do the same thing for the upper eyelid. I'll find one part of this curve that fits it close enough and then spray some paint down. If you look at my completed painting on the left side of the screen, you'll notice that the left side of the eye is darker than the right side, and that's just because the light source is coming from the right. An eye is just a sphere, so the left side of it is rounding away from that light source, making it darker. And with a single color of black paint that I'm using, if I want an area to be darker, I just spray more paint. So that's what I did on the left side. I just applied a bit more there. For some of these brighter textures within the iris, I'm drawing in a few lines using an eraser. And I'm trying to draw these lines from the outside of the iris directly into the center of the pupil. So let's move along to the right side here. I'm going to use another part of that shield that I cut out, line it up with the edge of the eye, spray some paint up. That gives me a sharp edge along the bottom where the shield is and a softer edge on top where that paint just kind of fades out. And for this line above it, that's going to be the starting point of this shadow. The edge isn't that sharp, so I'm just painting it in freehand. And then once I get those two lines in, I'll spray a small amount of this black paint right in the center. The next thing that I want to do is start mapping in this tear duct. So I'm using a ripped piece of paper here, lining it up with the top part of it and spraying some paint above. There's some relatively darker shadows off to the right side here, as you can see in my completed painting, so I'm just spraying these in freehand. There's kind of a mix here between sharp edges and soft edges, so I'm just going to be switching off between both freehand and using those shields. I want to add a small amount of skin texture over to the right here, so I made sure that I have some paint applied to the surface. Then I'm just going to pull out a few highlights. I'll also use this eraser to sharpen up and clean the edges on the top part of the tear duct and then spray some paint just below it. There's a very thin transition point here. It almost looks like an outline. I'm just drawing it in with a pencil. And then to blend it all together and darken up the value, I'll just glaze some paint over this whole area, focusing a bit more into the tear duct itself. Once that paint's down, I can start pulling out some highlights, and that's just going to create some depth in here. It's going to make it look like some light is hitting some parts within the tear duct that are slightly elevated. To build up some more texture and some depth, you can see that I glaze some more paint on top, and then I go right back to the eraser, pull out some more highlights. I'll also use an X-Acto blade in here just for a few of those very thin highlights. And then off to the right side where the nose starts is a very dark shadow in here, so I'm just going to paint that in now to get a reference point. No detail for this part, I'm just kind of blocking in those dark shadows off to the right and just sketching in a few of the highlights. And so now at this point, most parts within the eye are in place. So what I'm doing here is just going around and making another pass over everything, just using the same techniques over again. I'm building up some contrast in here, so darkening up some of the darker values and lightening up some of the highlights. I'm also glazing some paint into the whites of the eyes to darken them up to make it look like the eye is within shadow. What I'm doing from here is just mapping in some of the skin texture just above the eye. There's a fair amount of wrinkles and folds in the skin, so I'm using a ripped piece of paper here and spraying in some of the shadows. I'll be erasing into this area for the highlights, so I want to make sure that I spray down a glaze of paint over this whole section. For the skin texture on this upper eyelid, I'm basically just drawing in a bunch of little dots with my eraser. And I'm following the curve of the eyelid here, just drawing in these little highlights side by side across the middle part of this eyelid. This is just going to help add to that texture. It's going to make it look like there's some raised parts of skin within this eyelid catching some light. And you'll see here that my eraser is sharpened to a very sharp point, so I could just come in and pull out the smallest little highlights of paint. And on this surface, this clay board, the paint lifts up very easily with a light amount of pressure. There are also a few very thin highlights along the right side of the whites of the eyes, so I do want to remove those as well with the eraser. And then in order to start pushing everything back, I'm going to glaze some of this black paint over that upper eyelid. I'm focusing some more of this paint on the left side and the right side, leaving the center a little bit lighter. That just helps add to that three-dimensional effect where the darker areas look like they're in shadow, rounding away from the light source. So from here, I want to start rendering some of that skin texture below the eye. I'm using a skin texture template that I made myself and just lining up some parts of this where I want a few of these shadows. When I place a part of that shield to the panel, I spray on a very light amount of paint, and that's going to give me some shadows for the wrinkles here. And I'm essentially using this texture stencil just to get some randomness in here. And remember that every shadow is going to have a corresponding highlight, so I will be drawing these in with the eraser. So once I get a fair amount of those shadows and textures in, I'll glaze a light amount of paint over this whole section of skin texture underneath the eye. And then I'll switch right over to an ink eraser. I'm using a Mars razor here, and I'm just drawing in the highlights next to each one of the shadows. The light source on this painting is above and to the right, so that means the highlights are going to be on the right side and the shadows are going to be off to the left. So for every single one of these shadows added in with that random texture template, I'm adding a small highlight to the right side of each one with that eraser. There's no question that skin texture like this can be a bit slow going and tedious, but it is very fun work if you just sit down and work on one small section at a time. After adding some paint into this area, I want to make sure to brighten up this thin highlight just below the eye, so I'm doing that with an X-Acto blade. And then for that extremely thin shadow just below it, I'm using a 2H graphite pencil to draw it in. So as I'm working on this skin texture just below the eye, there's a lot going on here. So it's very easy to get overwhelmed and start rushing. And if I do that, start rushing, it's very easy to get lost and get careless with a lot of these textures. So like always, I just remind myself to slow down and focus on one small section. Eventually, all these small sections will come together to form a final painting, a final portrait, but I can't rush to that end. I need to work my way through it step by step. And the techniques that I'm using here are very straightforward. This is essentially drawing 101. I'm applying the dark values or the shadows with the airbrush, either using a ripped piece of paper or that texture template that I made, and then applying the corresponding highlights with that eraser on the right side of each one of these shadows. Again, a lot of small textures like this can be tedious, but that doesn't mean it's boring. I actually really enjoy painting these in. For me, studies like this are about focusing attention on a lot of the small, almost seemingly meaningless details that often go unnoticed. But as you work in painting or drawing, you begin to realize how significant all these little details are, how they make up a person or a portrait. And the more you work in painting, drawing, or art, the more you're going to learn about others, about yourself, and about life. I promise you that. If you ever find yourself getting discouraged, there's nothing to worry about. That's normal. It's really just part of the process. It's important to take a break for a little bit and come back to it again in a day or two and use that experience to learn from. Those little frustrations and failures that we all go through lead to experience, and that's everything in drawing, painting, or art. So you can see at this point that I'm starting to get there with the texture. For most of these highlights, I am using that aggressive eraser, but you'll also see me here mixing in a softer, normal graphite eraser just for some of the more subtle highlights. If I need to softly lighten up an area that doesn't have too much texture, that's where I'm going to use a normal graphite eraser. I'll add in some of those very thin eyelashes with an X-Acto blade, just gently pushing it to the surface, and then I'll lighten up the left side with the softer eraser where I just applied too much paint. The last thing that I want to do in this video is just get in some of the eyebrow and the skin texture above the eye. So I added a thin, even amount of paint just above the eye itself, and then I'm using an X-Acto blade to scratch out a few of the hairs. I'll start drawing in some of the highlights of the skin texture with the soft eraser, and then coming in with the airbrush to draw in a few of the shadows. And you can see here with the standard soft eraser how I could just work into some areas and just kind of lighten everything up without adding too much texture. Just a very light amount of pressure on that eraser will just help lift up a small amount of paint and lighten up some sections. I'm also using that eraser just to kind of sculpt some parts of the painting, making it look like some parts of the skin are just raised slightly and catching some light. After some more paint on top, I'll scratch out some of the hairs with the X-Acto blade and then start pulling out these highlights again on that upper eyelid. Because I do a fair amount of freehand work without masks, a lot of sections that I worked on previously are going to darken up from overspray. I know that's going to happen with the techniques that I use, so I just come back to these with the eraser and lighten them back up. So there you go, that's both eyes painted in. This is where we're at right now. There's still a long way to go to get to the final painting, the final portrait, but we're getting there. Remember that it's about steps, working one part at a time to get to that final work. In the next part of this video, we're going to be working on everything you see here, working on that skin texture, starting with the forehead, and then working our way down to the nose, the skin texture on the cheeks, and then finally the beard. And so as I'm working on any painting or drawing, I just remind myself that I can't rush it. This is where I'm at right now, and I'll eventually get to that final painting. So I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope that you picked up a few things to use in your own work. And thank you so much for the generous support from the current channel members that you see scrolling up on the screen right now. I'd like to welcome the newest channel members. That's John H., Lori R., and Pablo. Thank you guys all so very much and welcome. I'd also like to thank you Israel and Sharkin for rejoining, and thank you to Washington for that super thanks a few weeks back. It's greatly appreciated. I hope all of you have a great week. Best of luck in your paintings and drawings, and I'll see you back here next Friday.